I know, front page, I'm like.
Can't start without our Mary. Good evening. The Lapeer Community School Board of Education meeting is now called to order. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Mrs. LeBar, would you please lead us to the flag?
Yes. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mrs. LeBar. We will then head into the introduction of our new instructional staff. I'll turn it over to you, Superintendent Laundry.
Thank you, Madam President. One of our favorite meetings is to meet the new, fresh faces of our instructional staff. Hope you all prepared your presentations for this evening. Flash drive and PowerPoints. Okay, good to go. So we have a number of new instructional staff this year, and although we had 5 of them RSVP that they were going to be at this meeting, I see many more than 5 of them sitting here. So instead of me introducing the 5 who responded to the RSVP, I'm going to throw it back out to the group, and we're going to see the kind of leadership capability that we have. And they're going to decide amongst themselves how to introduce themselves. Here's what we're going to do. So it is a tradition here in Lapeer Community Schools that our new instructional staff are introduced, and they stand, and you can tell us a few very important pieces of information about yourself. Number 1, where you got your undergraduate degree from. The board will audibly respond, depending on their approval or disapproval of where you went to school. So good luck, and you'll see where the allegiances lie once you make that statement. Where you worked before you came to Lapeer, so maybe your most recent assignment, or this is your first job, that's great too, and then your current building of placement and what you do for us now. So we get to know you, name with a face, and when we're in the buildings, for members who are frequent visitors to our buildings can know and recognize who you are. So with that, undergrad degree, previous employments prior to Lapeer Community Schools, current placement and assignment here at LCS, and I leave it to you to determine who is going first. And we got a winner!
Hi, my name is Melissa Hart. I went to Oakland University, go Grizzlies. That was a while ago. I taught for 22 years in individual schools. I actually retired and felt my pull back to the classroom. And so here I am, a proud member at Turo, the 4-5 split.
Awesome. Welcome. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ryan McCollum. I graduated my undergrad from Ferris State University.
Go Bulldogs.
I actually just received 2 years ago, last year, got my certification for administration, my master's in leadership, principalship from Central Michigan University.
Fire chips.
And I have been teaching, this is going to be my 15th year teaching. If the opportunity presents itself in the future, I wouldn't mind getting into an administrative role. I love sports. Athletic director would be a great role too, even if it was like a sub-athletic director or something like of that nature. I am over at Rowan Warner, 6th grade social studies. I like to do fun facts. So one of my fun facts is I climbed Mount Fuji 3 times. And as you climb Mount Fuji, as you go up different levels in it, you get a pole, walking stick, and they brand it. And each one that I had on my next tour of duty, as I went over to Everett, Washington on USS Abraham Lincoln, I lost all 3 of those. And back, I'm going to show my age here, back when I was listening to a lot of music in my travels, I also lost 500 compact discs.
Oh,
There's a lot of them black marketed.
You didn't say cassettes or 8 tracks.
No. I never know those.
Hey, our viewing audience is currently Googling compact disc.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Amy Creech, and you will not know my university because I'm from Oklahoma. Went to Northeastern State University in Tahlequah, Oklahoma. The national Cherokee Nation the Cherokee Nation is there. So I did that long ago.
That's got to be a first.
Yep.
That's got to be a first.
I have traveled a lot. I was a missionary in Lisbon, Portugal for 3 years. My husband is a senior leader at a church in the area. I do live in Washington, so it's about a 40-minute drive for me. But I'm excited about Lapeer. I've known about Lapeer for a long time, so very excited to be here. 23 years of experience, everything from K to 5 elementary. The only grade I haven't taught is 2nd. I don't know why, but that's the only one. Right now I'm at kindergarten in Turo, and it is very exciting. Very, very exciting. And I'm excited about the year-round schedule. I started on Monday and had kindergartners on Wednesday running around my boxes. So it was quite a start. So. But I'm very glad to be here. Thank you very much.
What's the Northeast mascot?
Huh?
What is your mascot?
Oh,
of
it
Northeast
used to be like Redmond, but everybody's
So,
I don't even know what it is anymore.
Fighting rabbits. Something one of those.
No, man. I was very impressed with y'all knowing all your.
Stick around.
I'll follow that up. Maybe you guys might be able to know this one. So I'm Karen Logan. I'm the new counselor at LHS and Syracuse. Does anyone know that one?
The orange.
There we go.
Yeah, used to be the orange men, but
Yes,
it's
used to be
the
orange then,
Just the
but now
orange.
it's just orange. What else did you want to know? So fun fact I want to follow up with is it's kind of nerdy, but it's me. I was really excited when I was hired here and they showed me my office. because my thing to do is go visit college campuses. So all across the United States. I may have actually been on that campus. Oh, one of the things is Oklahoma State has the National Weather Service. So I was really excited to see that one because I wanted, if we ever have any meteorologists or anything like that, I want to be able to talk to them about these things. So that's the fun thing about me, and I was super excited because if a student goes to a SCRIT campus or attends a school or something like that, sometimes they remember me and they'll send me a flag. And that's really exciting because I have flags from all over the United States and even Canada, believe it or not. So if you're ever in the high school, stop by, see my office, because it's the first thing that students see. They're like, wow, I've never heard of some of these schools. So it's kind of my thing. But I know it's kind of nerdy, but if I'm in an area, that's what I do.
We like nerdy.
There we go. All right, did I fill in all the blanks?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Rader. This is our statistician and researcher at Northeastern State University, and the mascot there is Rowdy the Riverhawk. Fighting Riverhawks. Riverhawks.
Thank you so much.
That's the guy that builds our budget. Thank you.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Amanda Love. I'm a graduate from Ferris State. I originally, the last 3 years, I've been working at International Academy of England as a special education resource room teacher. I'm at the high school now as a special education caseworker. I'm originally from Lapeer, and I was working in Lapeer for Ohio, Lapeer County as a whole as a substitute, and I was a parent a little bit, so it's coming back home.
Hi, I'm Laura Crook. I am, my undergrad is somewhere else as well. It is from Rhode Island College. Go Ingerman.
Beat me to it.
And my graduate work was at Cal Poly Pomona, Broncos. See, I can get it for you. I never watched the sports. I've lived in 4 states, but taught in 3 states. Originally in California, Southern California for 15 years, and then came out to Kentucky for 8 years, and then just recently moved to Michigan and lived here. Snapped me up right away, and I'm pretty excited. I went to high school with Amanda, where we talk every day. Apparently, and we did not color coordinate on purpose. This is absolutely an accident, but we have great minds. So quite a bit of years and lots of experience that I like to bring to the table here at Lapeer. So I'm pretty excited.
I'm Jody Colcutt. I received my undergraduate from Cornerstone University. We are Golden Eagles. I was devastated because it was Meredith Structures College when I first started. We were the Comets. That was unique. Comets is unique. Then they did a name change to Cornerstone College, so they're now University, but they became the Golden Eagles. So I was kind of devastated with that. I got my learning disabilities endorsement from St. Valley State University. I did have subbing. I was subbing for Lapeer schools at the time with my bachelor, so it was something, because I'm from the Columbia area. I subbed for Lapeer, North Ranch were the 2 big ones when I first graduated from 95 to 97. And I was introduced to the resource room by Lisa Loftus. I just subbed for her, fell in love with it, decided to go into the resource room. So she was kind of my point for wanting to go that route. I taught for 6 years. I taught 1 year in elementary at a Christian school, my alma mater, Northridge Westland. Then worked in Emily City Middle School for 1 year, covering maternity leave and resource room. Worked up in Carroll Middle School Junior high was not my level, got burned out, worked in the doctor's office for 12 years. Worked for Lapeer Medical Associates. I know the doctors love declaring they're on Baltimore by Myers. So I spent 12 years doing administrative type of work, not nursing. I did filing, medical billing, insurance, disability forms, FMLA. Dealt with attorneys by the time I was leaving. So I had quite a bit of rapport with that. Was becoming non-sub. My husband said, "Would you go back into teaching?" Started subbing, fell in love with it, got my certificate reinstated within 8 months. I was 23 schedules short of my 6-month mark. So I didn't get until October. So I separated a year and a half. I spent the last 4 years teaching at a private school in Burton, Michigan at Center Point Christian Academy. I taught kindergarten, first grade there. So that's been an interesting age group, but it gave me the experience I needed, and I'm excited to be at Murphy. It was my favorite elementary school. When I subbed from Lapeer, I do remember, I tell you guys, I remember when Lapeer had 13 elementary buildings, because I subbed at every between 95 and 97. You guys had the 13 elementary.
It wasn't that long ago.
No. So, there's pretty remarkable stuff there. I am doing resource room, like I said, now at Murphy too, so I don't think there's anything else you want to do, right?
Good evening, my name is Renee Bess. I have been teaching for 20 years. My undergraduate was from Eastern Michigan University. So
Go Eagles, go Hurons.
fun fact is, it was one year in Hurons, and then they switched it over to the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I got my master's degree at Irwin University in Rochester, and the past 13 years I've been teaching in Arizona, and I came back, and I ended up Murphy with a resource position there, so fourth degree.
Awesome.
I'm very excited to be here.
Good evening, my name is Octavio Rivera Buchan. My undergraduate was from Catholic U in Puerto Rico. Mascot is Pioneer. My graduate studies were also in ESL, Spanish, and from Antioquia Adventist University, also in Puerto Rico. Their mascot is Rooster. Worked in Puerto Rico for 17 years. And then I transitioned to Maryland, where I worked for Prince George's County Public Schools for 5 years with ESL students. And I currently work right now with Currently Community Schools. And I thank you for the opportunity for joining this team to work as ESL coordinator with ESL students.
Well, I can easily say this is the most diverse group
Yes.
experience level we have ever had at this meeting.
And I love how many people want to come to Lapeer. That is great, amazing. Okay, well, welcome. We wish you guys all the best. Okay, I don't see any public comment for this evening, so we'll head right into the presentation. So I will also turn it over to you, Superintendent Andre.
Thank you, Madam President. It is our annual update and review of our board goals, district goals, as presented by Mrs. Michelle Bradford, our Assistant Superintendent for Curriculum and Instruction. So I'll hand it over to her capable hands.
All right. You guys are more than welcome to stay and listen
Hey, go Rutgers! Hurry up!
She'll hear it.
Thanks, guys.
They're going to live stream it, that's all.
Hey, Dave, you'll give me a thumbs up?
So I wanted to start with this slide. In June, principals, we met on several occasions to review our board goals. Because if you remember, our board goals are a living document. We revise them each year. So in June, we met a couple times. And I remember Michelle came to sit next to her. It was at the Adaptive Schools training. And she said, "Oh my gosh, there's so much to do. what do we do first? And so this took me back to when we originated these goals with the 3 overarching goals of quality curriculum, instruction, and collaboration. It was founded by this visual. And it's all gears working in motion. You can't have one without the other. So if you look at the curriculum gear, we need quality curriculum, we need standard alignment, learning targets, and success criteria. That's a focus area that we need to work on with teachers and their PLCs. When you look at instruction, we need obviously quality instruction. And that's aligned to their building goals. So for Michelle, for example, she's assuming how many can we get this in? Well, we're going to try to work that into your school improvement meetings. And we'll use Title II funds to pull teachers. So this, again, it's our visual that we bring to the table at our principal meetings to help them keep focused on they're also aligned with board goals. We have a whole child focus with Adam Sands, as you know, some formal assessment pieces that we're working on, and you've heard us talk about collaboration in the last retreat. So I want to start with that because that's our visual, but tonight's presentation is really about what the revisions were that we put in place that you'll hear throughout the year from principals. So again, we have 3 board goals, and I highlighted in blue. Basically, this is the high quality curriculum goal. For the first benchmark, we revised our targets. Our targets we realized after doing some data analysis and getting the state's targets were too high. We always write them as 80% proficient. Well, if you look, I'm going to jump back and forth. If we look at what the state target is, the top is the state target, the bottom is our actual school proficiency percentages. We want that top number to be 100%. And it means that we want 100% of our students to be 60% proficient. That's the state target. We set our ELA goal at 70% and our math goal at 50% because of those state targets. To be more realistic, we still set them above state, but we want our goals to be achievable, is basically what I'm trying to say. The other strategy in goal 1 that we revised is, you've heard the term KUDs, what students need to know, understand, and do. Well, we have a lot of new teachers that did go through that training, and really what that means is we want clear learning targets with success criteria and in the lesson plans. And if we go back to the basics of that, we'll get at, everybody understands those terms, and also our grant supervisors didn't want us to use the KUD language. But really, that's our focus when we talk about planning. And what we learned in our instructional rounds at all buildings is there's a common theme of every building has a goal of improved lesson planning. So we want to make sure that was.
And this is a really important point, and those at the table that have ever been a teacher or had a lead training, when you get hired as a new teacher, and you've got, let's say you're an elementary teacher, you've got 25 kids in front of you, and you've got an entire year's worth of material to get through. Nobody hands you ready-made lesson plans on day 1, okay, to start teaching kids. Now, with the professional learning community, structure that we have, we do a much better job than we ever have in supporting new teachers in growing and building and developing those lessons. But it's not like the 30-year veteran that left just hands you 30 years worth of material and says, good luck, go get it. And so when Michelle speaks about the importance of lesson planning, that's a big focus for us in professional learning communities. It's a big focus for our learning coaches are going to be teachers, which is to teach them the fundamental building block of a great lesson and how to build a lesson plan and what are the things that go into that. And if they can get good at that and master that in their probationary period, the first 4 years of working with us, that's going to last them a lifetime of successful lesson development and ultimately better instruction. I hate to say this, and I'm sure Lisa and Jamie will be nodding heads, but when we first started in education, you get the keys to your classroom and a pat on the back and said, good luck, go get them. And you basically had to figure it out on your own. Now, that might have been great if you wanted to be left alone in as an island unto yourself, but it wasn't best for kids because you were a 21 or 22-year-old first-year teacher going, well, I'm basically in charge of this classroom and I really don't know what I'm doing because we weren't taught how to build lessons, right? We were taught our content area and we were some strategies, but in terms of actual what is research-based lesson plan development, success criteria, assessment of kids, and then using that data to revise your teaching. That's an art form, and we have to have a structure in place. That's why this is such an important goal for the board to appreciate, that we spend, and Michelle has spent considerable time in supporting new teachers through our learning coaches, through PLCs, to get to mastery of this very fundamental building block of teaching sooner rather than later. Don't wait 20 years of trial and error, right? Which is, okay, there's always going to be some trial and error in any profession, but we want to make that learning curve less steep for our new teachers so they get to mastery quicker and that's better for kids overall. This is a really important goal.
What's amazing is the teachers appreciate that time. They use Title II funds to support them with, we'll get subs or stipends after school. And groups of teachers and the coaches facilitate this. But they're always requesting money to get the time to work together, to work on their lesson plan. And to support the teachers in this is new this year, but it's not a new initiative, it's formative assessment training that all of our coaches and principals are going to be part of. We are going to be part of what's called the FAME project. It's formative assessment for Michigan educators. We are going to be through a 3-year cohort. We have 2 teams. One's going to be led by me, and another team's going to be led by Jenny Mudge. She's our grant supervisor. And it's a formative assessment. It's pretty much collaboration with our own group on the use of formative assessment, and that formative assessment will drive our lesson planning. And again, this is, I'm going to refer back to Hattie when we talked about our board retreat. It is, spending time on formative assessment is a high effect size of 0.72. So we want to keep the best practice in place. So now I'm going to go to board goal 2. We talked a little bit about this through the whole Adams-Sands initiative of the whole child, but we changed this goal to read high quality instruction through a comprehensive multi-tiered system of support. You've heard the term MTSS in both academic and whole child. Previously, our board goals and my our school improvement and building or district improvement process has been focused on academics only. We've adopted academic and whole child into our NICA goals and our board goals. So that with Tier 1 being our central practices, that part didn't change. With benchmark 2.1a and benchmark 2.2a, we've always had a focus on intervention, but it's not just academic, it's behavioral as well. And the things that we have in place, we have contracted Adam for 2 years. We've had 2 full days of training with them. I can share the survey results if Matt hasn't already shared them with you. I think it might be in your.
Oh, it's in the, yeah.
But really good feedback from the staff. It was all focused on them, their self-help, and just really good feedback from the teachers. We have a 60-minute district-wide virtual session with him on November 2nd. So he'll Zoom in with the elementary teachers in the morning when they meet, and the secondary folks in the afternoon. We have on February 16th, you know how now our PD is full day, but if we're remote, he's dedicated a half a day with elementary and then a half a day with the secondary. And he's going to be rolling out the equipped classroom. So teachers want to know, okay, I know what I need to do for myself now. Now how can I help the kids with social emotional? And so he's going to train them on that on the 16th. And then he has a co-worker, Ben, who's going to come out on site and meet with us in the schools and meet with the principals, and he wants to take a tour of each building, get a sense of what their PBIS structure is, what they have in place, and then give suggestions. So we have that coming up. And then our family engagement videos, he's gonna zoom in on February 14th, because I saw your Facebook post and keep that going. So that's gonna be a live Zoom just for parents, and then another one in the spring. And then, actually got applause for this at PD, which I never get applause for at PD. But the teachers, we purchased all of his videos. I think it's about, 30 hours of PD for teachers online, because teachers are required to do 5 hours of online PD. And we purchased his PD, so they have that access to all of it. I'm really excited about this. And board goal 3, high quality collaborative processes. We talked a little bit about this as well with collective advocacy. We added that term because that's Hattie's greatest effect size. And we know our PLCs, we have our PLCs, but what we really want to turn them into is our buildings and our grade levels and our departments really owning that collective advocacy piece. And we have some district PLC coordinators that we revamped kind of what our year looks like to reboot our professional learning communities. And the overall outcome is to develop district collective advocacy within our PLC groups using the adaptive schools strategies to improve overall student achievement. And some of the ways we're going to do that is these resources, they're not new. We've always done them before, learning by doing, which I think you would copy at the last retreat of those 4 questions of a PLC. That's founded by before. Obviously the research behind John Hattie, our adaptive schools, and then what's new I want to show you tonight is just a little bit about what collective advocacy is. It's a short video from Hattie himself.
I knew number one, invisible learning is teachers connected advocacy. On the one hand, that's exciting because it converts the story. On the other hand, it's a bit of an unfortunate title. It kind of implies that having efficacy, having confidence, having all teachers in school believing they can make a difference. It's actually more than that. Now, to have an analysis, you have to have lots of studies. This is not a new idea. This has been around a long time. But it's just that Rachel Ellis was the one that pulled it all together to show what its combined effect was. And the message I want to get across, it is teachers working together to have appropriately high, challenging expectations of what a year's growth or a year's input looks like, fit with the evidence of impact. And that's what sustains it. It isn't just growth mindset, it's not just rah-rah thinking, it's not just all we can make a difference. But it's that combined belief that it's us that causes learning. It's not the students from particular social backgrounds, there's not all the barriers out there. Because when you fundamentally believe you can make a difference, and then you feed it with the energy you are, it's dramatically powerful.
So we have a collective, the principals and the coaches have already done this book study. It starts next week, it's a book study on collective advocacy. And then we also have Jenny Donahue, the author of this person, is going to provide PD to our teachers on February 13th. When Adam has one group, Jenny will have the other group. So, and then our PLC coordinators who are Jeff Stanton and Anita Lawrence, they are running the book study, and they are also, we're going to be working with Karen Oman, who we're inviting her to our board committee meetings to help us continue the adaptive schools training with you. We are teaming with her to also work with department chairs and learning coaches on some additional adaptive schools quick shots. And so that's your plan for collaboration.
Well, and I think just to note, the reason we're bringing Karen into the committee meetings, if you recall from the board retreat and the adaptive schools work we did, it was a lot about decision making, dialoguing versus actually making a decision. And a lot of that work happens at the committee level. Right? And so we wanted Karen to work with the individual committees to kind of talk about, how do we present information as a whole team? How does the board have input into that agenda? How is it created? And then individually, what are those items? what's our goal in the meetings? Is to discuss, or is it to discuss and make a decision, and Karen's gonna work with us to talk about some of the best strategies for that.
She has the most training in her district on adaptive schools too. She even went out of state to get some additional training.
One of the things I think from a board level perspective, and Jared and I were discussing this today, the term social emotional learning in the press right now is getting some really negative coverage. And I really want you to think about that little video clip from John Hadley. What he said is a key distinction between what's happening in other places compared to what's happening here. Sometimes social emotional learning can replace high expectations, academic expectations, meaning, and districts lose their way. Our kids are coming to us, for example, with so much baggage, so many barriers to their learning, and our entire focus of our school and district becomes kind of just taking care of the wellness of the student. That's not what he said. What he said is it's a component to be considered, and schools are best served to address those needs in and under the umbrella of high expectations, fed by student data, and helping to grow those kids' academic abilities, based on growth targets, based on strategies that have the greatest research-based impact on students, given those variables that they come to us with. And he said it is the responsibility of teachers, not of students, right? We don't want to sit as a district and be sideline reporters and sit on the sidelines and just comment on all the barriers to learning that our kids may come with to the front door. We have smart people here. We've got great teachers, we've got great principals, we've got great learning coaches, we've got great leaders like Michelle, who are smart enough to figure out by grabbing the best research in the country and the world and saying, okay, given all these variables, how are we as a group going to solve this problem and get these kids where they need to go? But the pinnacle of that is their academic achievement. That's how we want to be judged, right? We're not handing out huffs, but you got to take care of the whole child. And so I think it's important as a board, when you hear, I heard this social emotional learning stuff is happening in Lapeer, you say, darn right it is, but it's done so as a way to overcome barriers that we may be presented with in an effort to get our kids achieving academically where we think they can be. And that's up to us as adults to do that.
Go back to the first slide, but do you see how all the peers work together and how it was really eye-opening to hear some of the principals, we've got so much to do, how we're going to put it out there. Well, they all work together. The collective advocacy piece ties into the lesson planning. So, targeted learning targets and success criteria work within those PLCs. So, all the gears in motion. And those are the only updates from our board goals that you're going to hear about all year long.
Any questions, comments? I'm super excited about all the resources that you brought and your excitement and joy. And we can see it in the schools when they come here to present. That they're really embracing it and really taking advantage of what they're getting out of PD. I really like that. And all the resources that they can use back themselves. That online PD for 30 hours, that's wonderful. As a resource for them to have and utilize it's out there.
Yeah, they were excited. Thank you, that's awesome. I love this part of the job.
Well, as having been in this business for 25 years, very rarely do you have the opportunity to really drill down. And what Michelle has created is a system where we're not just throwing the latest and greatest fads at you because she went to a conference. No, I've got this new idea. She's continuing to fine-tune the goals, adjust them, and just pile on resources for teachers to still meet the same 3 goals with modest adjustments that reflect a more accurate status of where we're at based on what our kids are telling us, from their achievement scores and things like that. So as a teacher, you came this year and you heard nothing new, right? Let's get better at what we know works. And here are some more resources to help you do that. That's a refreshing thing to hear as an employee, and that was reflected in the survey results.
So I think it's interesting to see that data is being used so heavily because data analytics has always been a business.
side of things. So it's interesting to see, it's awesome to see educators embracing data and drilling down and really understanding what it's
Spending time on the right things. There's so many things. You had that chart from the retreat. There's so many things you can focus on, but we gotta spend our time on
But back in 2008, when a lot of the standards in education began to change, especially around the teacher evaluation, there was an interview that was given, and they were interviewing teachers across the country, and they were trying to get them to say that a focus on student achievement, particularly test scores, was the wrong way for education to be tracking. Now, two things to be true at once, right? We don't want a one-day test to determine an entire academic program for a kid, but to say that those assessments don't have merit, right? And there was a famous interview given to a teacher leader in Wisconsin, and the reporter kept pushing this teacher, and the reporter said, so how do you know if kids are doing well in your class, if not for assessment? And the teacher said, I can see it in their eyes. And I was rolling mine as I heard that, like, you're killing us out there. Like, I mean, no data analysis can gauge someone's mastery by looking in their eyes, right? So we can't, as an industry, continue to paint this picture that, well, it's just this magical thing that happens. It's not. There are things that actually work, and we want to embrace those things and get away from the idea that it's some mystical formula that only few teachers can achieve in their career.
Formative assessments are life, right? I mean, you're not going anywhere.
Thank you.
If you don't, CPAs have to take a licensure, right? I mean, how's that? I mean, there's, I have to go on and on, right? Formative assessments. How important.
But I'm glad that's not the only thing we use,
Well,
right? I mean,
yeah.
so I'm glad we use it in conjunction with all our other tools.
Yeah, and formative assessments are, correct me if I'm wrong, a super high percentage of them are created by our people.
Right.
These are not like a state test coming in. This is tests and assessments and quizzes that teachers are creating and then sharing the results of that in that
And
PLC.
one of the things that we hear from teachers is, what do I bring to PLC? So we need to spend more time on the formative assessment piece so they know the types of things to bring and to drive their instruction. All right.
Excellent, thank you, Michelle. Okay, we will head into our action items. So we have our consent grouping, approval of the minutes of August 2nd, 2023, out-of-state field trip request for Strike Zone robotics team to travel to California on September 27th through October 2nd of 2023. And then we have second reading of board policy 4218.01 time clock. Are there any items anybody wishes to have removed from the consent grouping? Okay, hearing none. Get a motion?
I make a motion that reading of the minutes be waived and the consent agenda items be approved as presented.
Support.
I have a motion and a support. Dr. Novak?
Aye.
Ms. Holford? Aye. Mr. Lipka?
Aye.
Dr. Watson?
Aye.
Mrs. LeVar?
Aye.
Mrs. McKenna? Aye. Mrs. Putnam says aye. Motion carries. Okay, that concludes action items. We'll go into board member communications. Any topics for this evening?
I'd like to give a shout out to the Athletic Booster Club. I attended the third annual Lightning Strike Field Day, which was a great way for all of the kids in the entire district to come out for a couple hours and experiment with all the different, they had games for all of the different sports, and they had representatives from all of the teams there. It was so fun to see, these great big guys playing with these little kids, kicking a soccer ball, kicking a football, and running on the turf, and there was just a lot of fun, and they had this great big crazy bubble machine thing. And I mean, it was so fun because it was at the one end back by behind the concession stand, and you could see this ball floating down to the 50-yard line. Kids were trying to catch it. It was, whatever the texture was, it was so neat. It was just a really wonderful thing put on by the boosters, and like I said, I think almost every team was represented, and so that was nice. And there were coaches, and volunteers there. It was really nice to see all those people on Saturday. We're in full gear here. I just wanted to do a shout out to our transportation department because as a mom of a student who sometimes rides the bus, I thought it was really nice that they'd sent out this letter to parents. How many people read it, I don't know, but I appreciated the fact that they discussed, like the very first line is it's critical to remind you of the importance of bus safety, and they went into, about student misbehavior and how it's a distraction, it's not safe. And I really like how Linda and her team, put it right here. We're not gonna tolerate kids being disruptive and unsafe on the bus. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's it. I mean, these kids need to know that it is a privilege to be able to ride the bus and that we are able to provide that for our students at a huge minimum cost. But the fact that we've prioritized it because that's what our public wants. Our public wants us to have busing. And so I support bus drivers. I support all my friends who are being safe. And one last shout out to our transportation department, all of those wonderful ladies that got those kids down there and back to the big house and back during that very precarious weather situation. And just huge shout out to the transportation team. And
They were amazing. That was a lot of kids too.
Oh,
All together and
to go
thankfully
through
mine
that.
was open for long to be able to go in and do that,
Yeah,
so.
just
Yeah.
huge. So
That's fun. Anyone else?
Shad should get a big shout out for the
Organizing
big house.
that,
Yes.
yeah. Shaz led that initiative for sort of 7th or 8th year, I think, at the big house.
Yeah.
It's a massive undertaking.
I got to attend, it was pretty cool.
It was.
Anyone else? I just excited about welcoming our students back, our staff. It's good to see the kids back in school, all the activities, the sports, welcoming all the new staff. It's always a good feel in September. As a mom who her daughter's in college, I actually miss it. Honestly, I'm like, oh, the first day of school, thanks this year, But so anyways, excited
Jason didn't
about.
want to take his picture.
Yes. I know. So with that, I'll turn it over to you, Superintendent Wondry, for your
Thank you,
comments.
Madam President. Echo all the comments about the start of school. It's been a great start. All of the departments pitching in, especially given several of our buildings impacted by bond work, and not just the obvious of CFI and Schickler that are getting some GOTS on getting some massive work done. But in order to get the new wing completed at Schickler on time for opening day, we had to pull custodial maintenance staff from other buildings. So as they're trying to kind of gear up and get back to school and get those last minute projects buttoned up, some small sacrifice made to get all hands on deck over for the buildings. I met today with our project manager over at CFI and can report that things are progressing very nicely over there. I met with Shad and he said that the departmental team and Wendy, our manager in particular, comes to see him every day just to make sure noise, other issues aren't impacting the school. And Shad and a number of staff I talked to were like, yeah, we can't hear anything. They're dropping some big stuff over there. I was over there for a little bit. It's lots of equipment, lots of loud trucks dropping big beams, and they are taking great care to make sure that the day is not disrupted for our students. And you were sitting in that building, and I was right in the middle of it in Shad's office and couldn't hear a thing. So that was reassuring just to do that. So all good things happen. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Superintendent Wondry. With that, can I get a motion?
Motion to adjourn. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a support. Dr. Novak?
Aye.
Ms. Hofer? Aye. Mr. Lipka?
Aye.
Dr. Watson?
Aye.
Mrs. LeBar?
Aye.
Mrs. McCown?